a rising tide raises all ships. So while I can understand the internal battle that happens when you're in direct competition with someone, I have found that when you root for them to lose, not only do you have a harder time winning, but you blind yourself from obtaining the skill set that has allowed them to be better in the first place. So that's how I view competition. I root for people to win. I root for my enemies to win. The reason I root for my enemies to win is because I know in my heart that I will do everything they do and more to win. I am confident in myself. I am confident in my abilities. I am confident and I know what I am willing to do, what I'm willing to invest, and what I'm willing to sacrifice to win. And the answer to that question is anything. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to reality. Guys, today, as always, we start the week out with some Q&AF. That's where you submit the questions and we give you the answers. Now, you can submit your questions a few different ways. The first way is...
Guys, email these questions into askandy@andyfrisella.com.
Or you go on YouTube in the comments section of the Q&AF episodes, and you can drop your questions in there, and we'll pick some from there as well. Tomorrow, we're going to have CTI. That stands for Cruise the Internet. That's where we put topics on the screen, the topics of the day. We talk about what's up. We speculate on what's true, what's not true. And then we talk about how we, the people, have to solve these problems going on in the world. Later in the week, we might have some real talk. Real talk is just 5 to 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. And then occasionally, we have 75 hard verses. 75 hard verses is where an individual has completed the 75 hard program, talks about how their life was before, how their life is now, and how they used the 75 Hard program to fix everything going on with them. The 75 Hard program is the initial phase of the Live Hard program. If you've been living under a rock, you might not know that. You can get this program for free, which is the most popular mental transformation program in the history of Earth. You can get it for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. It's not on YouTube. It's on the audio feed only. There is a book available called The Book on Mental Toughness. It's available at my website, andyfrisella.com. You can get that book. It'll cover the entire Live Hard program, top to bottom, inside out. It will also give you 10 chapters on mental toughness, why it's important, and how you can use it to build a life that you desire. There's also some case studies of some very famous people who talk about how they've used mental toughness to create the lives that have made them famous. All right. The book is not required, but it is available. andyfrisella.com. Check that out. Another thing about this show is we don't run ads on the show. You'll notice that. And in exchange for that, we ask very simply that you help us get the message out. We are constantly fighting censorship, shadow bans, traffic throttles. And for our message to get out, we need you to share it. So if the show makes you think, if it makes you laugh, it gives you a new perspective, it's an important message you think needs to be heard, if it teaches you a new skill, it gives you value in any way, please share that episode of the show. All right? We rely on you guys to do that. So don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with you?
Yeah, no, just doing it.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to try to make it feel like it's Monday again
on
Friday?
I was thinking about this, and then you were like, tomorrow we got CTI. I'm like, not technically.
Huh? They're going to hear it on Monday. I'm not going to pretend that this is Monday, though. Like, hey, what'd you do this weekend?
Yeah,
oh,
right.
I don't know. I did some shit that I didn't even do yet.
I was actually, I was worried there that I was going to get hammered in the comments about that. It was all right. It was all right.
Nobody hammers anybody in the comment. The only people that do the hammering are our people.
Yeah, but like I was like, oh, DJ, I thought I was going to get
when
some.
These turds get in there and say some stupid
true.
shit. I love the way our people hammer people on other people's posts.
Yeah, that's
what I like. Like, I like when I click open somebody else's post and some dude's in there saying some shit and our people are just all over them.
Yeah, that's always good. We got a good group.
Yeah, it's great.
We got a good group, man. It's good people.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, you want to get into it?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I do.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's make some people better.
There we go.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Hey, guess what?
What?
I got 3 good ones for you.
All right.
Yeah.
So
it's been a minute since I said that.
Yeah, like last show.
Yeah, like a couple of days ago. Yeah. Guys, Andy, question number 1. Let's get into it. Hey, Andy, I am a professional soccer player, and I'm a goalkeeper. Right now, it has been between me and another guy for the starting job on the team. Whenever he has played and done well, there is always a part of me that hates it and wants to see him get scored on. I know, however, you talk about how important our feelings are towards others' success for our own personal successes. The tough part is usually I don't get an opportunity to play until he has a poor game or makes a mistake. How would you approach a situation like this? Do you have any practical advice to keep my mind and intent and my heart right so I can have success when it is my time to play?
I think it's super natural for someone who's competitive to want the other person to not do as well so you could get a chance to do well. However, the problem with that is that when you root for people to lose, you tell the universe that you like losing and the universe delivers losing to you. So how do we balance these two concepts? It's very simple. If the person's better than you, you should celebrate the fact that they're better than you because you know that you are an equal type human to that person, and what one man can do, another can do. So if you are behind someone who happens to be better than you, it is okay to celebrate how good they are, knowing that they are actually doing you a favor because they are showing you where you need to improve. Where people get in trouble with this is they hate on people who are actually better than them, and that hate blinds them from recognizing where that person is better and how they can improve themselves to actually be better. So, for example, when I am out here in the world and I am deciding who I am going to be friends with, I look for people who are winning big. I look for people who are great. And a lot of times these people are better than me at certain things. And I love that because it gives me an indication of where I can improve. And by the way, where can I learn how to improve? Oh, the guy right here who happens to be my friend who's better at me than this and this and this. And I happen to be better at him at this and this and this. So we get together, and even though we're competitive, we can learn from each other and improve, and we both get better. A rising tide raises all ships. So while I can understand the internal battle that happens when you're in direct competition with someone, I have found that when you root for them to lose, not only do you have a harder time winning, but you blind yourself from obtaining the skill set that has allowed them to be better in the first place. So that's how I view competition. I root for people to win. I root for my enemies to win. The reason I root for my enemies to win is because I know in my heart that I will do everything they do and more to win. I am confident in myself. I am confident in my abilities. I am confident and I know what I am willing to do, what I'm willing to invest, and what I'm willing to sacrifice to win. And the answer to that question is fucking anything. If I have to go back to living in the back of my first retail store on a piss-stained mattress to beat some motherfucker, guess what? I'll do it. I'll do it at this stage of my life. I would have done it 5 years ago. I would have done it 10 years ago, and I'll do it 10 years from now. And the reason that I'm successful is because I have that ability to recognize where other people are great, and then I am willing to do whatever the fuck I have to do to be as great or better than them at that thing. So why would I surround myself with people who aren't better than me if the people who are better than me are showing me how they got better and also instilling a drive and a competitive spirit for me to get better? What do I lose by rooting for that? That's how I see it.
Do you feel like there's also like there's a team aspect to it too, right? Because it's like, what is your real... Like, what's the real goal here? Is the goal for you to be the winner or for the team to win?
Well, the goal is for the team to win in a team atmosphere. When you're running a business, you need the business to win. That's the team.
Right.
While the team is winning, you also have a goal to contribute and to improve and to directly impact your own personal standing, your own personal skill set, and the results that come from you building that skill set. So there are two goals when being on a team. First is team first. We need the team to win. So if that goalie's better than you, you need to be okay with him winning some games because ultimately you being on a winning team is going to help you tremendously down the road. Secondly, the goal should be for you to improve your skill. And what better way to improve your skill than to be on a team that wins?
Yeah.
So there's always two goals there. It's okay to have two goals there. It's not this or that. It's both. You should want to be on a winning team and put the team first. And also, while you're on the winning team, you should want to be the best player on that team. And what way to be the best player on a winning team than to be surrounded by fucking winners who know how to be the best players? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people want to be the big fish in a small pond. And what you really want to do is you want to be a big fish in the big pond. And you can only do that when you're surrounding yourself by world-class winners and world-class skill set individuals. And that's going to make everybody a little insecure. That's going to make you feel a little uncomfortable. But if you're a true competitor and you're someone who knows what you're willing to do to get better, that shouldn't scare you. That should empower you. That should drive you. It should inspire you. Because if I look at someone over there who can do something better than me, I clearly, because I believe in myself and I have high self-confidence, I look over there and I say, oh, that's how he does it. Okay, well, I'm going to go do this so I can beat him at that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's what you're saying. The importance is of bringing those people in close to your circle. Right?
Yeah.
Do you hit them up for to get some workouts in and practices? You know what I'm saying? Teach you some techniques, right? Like, so it sounds like this is just coming down to an ego issue here.
No. I think it's just a competitor.
Yeah.
When you're competitive, this is something that is mentally difficult to sort out.
Okay.
It just is. Most competitors, they look at people and they're like, I want to fucking smash them. Which is cool, because I do too. However, we have to recognize how the smashing occurs. Does the smashing occur because you just want to smash them and you're emotional about it and you see red? No, the smashing occurs when you recognize their gifts, you do the work to build those gifts and those skill sets in yourself, and then you go out and perform at a higher level. That's where the smashing occurs. The smashing does not occur because you're angry. The smashing does not occur because you want it to. It doesn't occur because you're highly emotional and I've got all this drive and I'm ready to kill. That's not where it happens. Where it happens is I observe what he's good at, I put practice into that, I adopt that skill set for myself, and then I go out and put results up that are better than that person's.
I love that, man. I love it. I love it, guys. Andy, question number 2. This is this is one of my favorite questions. I like it. I like this guy. All right, Andy. First off, I love you, bro. Real shit. No diddy. I found you about 6 months ago, and as a black man from Dallas, you be speaking straight facts. My question is, I've noticed that you speak of consistency a lot, the daily wins, and being consistent with that. Have you ever had any issues with consistency being boring? I mean, I feel like doing the same shit every day can get old. Let me know if I'm not looking at this right or what.
You're not looking at this right. Not or what. All right? And I appreciate the love. All right? But I'm going to let you in on some real shit here. The greatest people that you have ever observed at anything in life have mastered the monotonous tasks and do them day in and day out without fail. They do not consider the fact if it's boring, they understand what result it produces. All right. So when we talk about Michael Jordan, there's very famous stories about Michael Jordan and what he did at practice. He started with a very specific exercise, which was chest passes. Do you know what they start you doing in basketball practice when you're 5 years old? The first thing they teach you? They teach you chest passes. So you have the greatest athlete ever in this sport. Undeniably, by the way, for all you young bucks that think LeBron's even comparable, you're fucking insane. Starting his practice after 30 years of playing the game with the same drill, do you think that gets boring? Or do you think that he says, this is what I got to do to be great? All right? When we look at the greatest home run hitters of all time, or the greatest soccer players of all time, or the greatest CEOs of all time, these people are not doing different things every day. They are mastering the monotonous tasks. And the reason that people have such a hard time with success is because they're unwilling to do the boring shit at a high level over the course of time. They get to a point where they're like, oh, okay, I got this figured out. I know how to throw a chest pass. And then they're like, what's next? 360 dunks. And they get fancy with the shit and they never master anything. Okay, so when we talk about what it takes to succeed, the reason that most people can't succeed is because they get bored with the basic shit, not realizing that the way you win basketball championships is not 360 reverse dunks. It's fucking layups. Okay, it's free throws. It's the most basic shit in the world. And that goes for anything. That goes for business. It goes for fitness. It goes for life. The simplest path, the boring path, is the path of getting the most results. And people can't do that because they get bored. They confuse their emotions as to how they feel about the action with the actual result that it produces. And why are you doing this thing? You're doing this thing to produce a result, whatever it may be. So when we talk about it being boring, champion people don't think about boredom. They don't think, man, this is boring. They think this is what's required for me to succeed. And I think there's a big misunderstanding in society, and we can observe this by the way people behave, right? Most people get a job. They work that job for 2-3 years. They get bored with that job, and then they say, this job isn't for me. And then they go find something else. And that might even be an entrepreneur. I started a business. I'm 3 years in. It's not really working out the way I want it to. So this must not be for me. I'm going to start this new business. And they repeat that cycle over and over and over again, not realizing that every 3 years that they waste of time is 3 years that they're not getting back. Okay? So most people waste their entire lives of this cycle. Start a thing, it gets boring, quit a thing. Start a thing, it gets boring, quit a thing. Start a thing, it gets boring, quit a thing. If you were trying to run a marathon and that was your whole entire goal at life, and every time it got a little bit hard or a little bit boring, mile 11, mile 15, mile 12, you just quit. You say, fuck it, I'm going to start a new thing. How do you ever finish? How do you ever get there? How do you ever get paid? How do you ever be great? You can't. And this is what people are missing. The monotonous shit that you do day in and day out. And by the way, you are in control of this. Most of these monotonous tasks that create the biggest payoff in your life are so boring and so simple that people overlook them. You can control all of the elements that will create an amazing outcome for your life. It's just that people can't do it over the course of time. They can control what they drink. They can control what they eat. They can control the information that goes in their brain. They can control the way they move their body. They can control who they associate with. But they can't control those things over the course of 20 years. They can do it in short bursts. 2 weeks here, 3 weeks here before the wedding. Oh, I'm getting serious now. So they do it for 30 days, not realizing that to produce greatness and produce amazing results, that the controllables have to be controlled over the course of years, sometimes decades. All right? Greatness is not an all-you-can-eat buffet, bro. It is a very small, tiny bistro with like 10 seats in it. And you're lucky to have a place in it. And for you to have a place in it, you have to be willing to do the things that everybody else can't do. And let me tell you what they can't do. They can't stick to shit for more than the amount of time where it gets boring. So if you want to stand out and you want consistency to really work for you, you have to control the controllables without fail over the course of a long period of time, decades. And you will produce whatever it is that you want to produce. And this is the difference between people who are great and people who are not great. This is the difference between people who are fulfilled and people who are not fulfilled. This is the difference between people who have lots of money and people who have no money. It's the difference between everything, is mastering the monotonous tasks day in and day out. And if you can't do that, you're leaving your life up to chance. And let me tell you how many people get where they want to go by chance. Fucking zero. All right? So keep that in mind. Mastering the monotonous is the most important skill set that you can develop over the course of your life. And if you can realize that the basic shit, the shit that I just listed off, the things that you are in control of every single day of your life are the defining factors of greatness, you got the game figured out.
Let me ask you this, Andy, because When do you think you really like honed in on that concept? Like, when did you start becoming super aware of that concept? When did that happen for you in your journey?
It happened in pieces. So early in my business life, I had no awareness. Once I got to be about 8 to 10 years in, I started figuring a little bit out of it. Mm-hmm. Once I got to be 14, 15 years in, I figured out a little bit more. It took me till I was 36, 37 years old to really put all this together and to understand that this is a game of compounding efforts, compounding inputs attached to the length of time that you do it. Mm. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. So how, like my question is, follow up on that then. Did you have was there any frustration when I guess you looking back like, fuck, okay, well, I probably fucked off a few of those years that could have been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how'd you
Yeah, but what am I going to do about it? How do I go back and fix the first 16 years of my business career and say, damn, dude, I fucked all those away because I didn't understand the shit I understand now? Yeah. How do you think I understand the shit that I understand now? The reason I understand it is because I fucked off those first 16 years. And by the way, I was pretty successful, even fucking off. So think what's happened between then and now.
Right.
The amount of exponential growth that's happened from the time I figured this out until now is nearly unheard of. All right. So this is the play. And if you could figure this out, there's nothing you can't create in your life. You are in control of your outcome. Whether you want to admit that to yourself or not, that's up to you. Most people won't admit it because if once they admit it and once they say, dude, I am in control of my outcome, that means they got to get up off the couch and do a bunch of shit. Otherwise, they always feel shitty about themselves. Okay. So it's very hard to live a life where you are aware that you are in control of your outcome and then just sit there and watch it go by. That's a depressing, frustrating, aggravating existence that most people can't deal with. So what do? They stick their head in the sand and they say, luck, circumstance, fairness, and they bring up these ideas that let them off the hook for being accountable for the result that they're producing.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Guys, Andy, question number 3. Andy, I just got recently promoted at my job. And I've been here for like 3 years. Now, the only reason I feel like I got this promotion is because the guy who had it fucked up and it kind of got handed to me by default. Like, I don't feel like I really earned this. And to be honest, it's messing up my mind a little bit. Have you ever dealt with this with any of your employees? And what's the best way to change my mindset right now?
Well, sometimes good things happen that you didn't earn. That's reality. But you were in the place where you benefited from that happening. You shouldn't be mad about it. You shouldn't be upset about it. You shouldn't piss on it just because it didn't work the way you wanted it to work. But I think the fact that you recognize that you didn't earn it should be something that lights a fire under your ass to say, okay, I got a little bit of a break here. Let me capitalize on that so that I can progress my career down the road faster and faster and faster. You know, there's a saying, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, when good shit happens, don't fight it.
You fucking take it.
Take it and make the best of it. So, yeah, this sounds like one of those situations where maybe you didn't earn it. Maybe you were in the right place at the right time. These things happen. But this wouldn't happen with you sitting on the bench. You're in the game. And that's where the breaks happen. So you got a break. It was favorable for you. And now your job is to capitalize on it. And outside of that, I wouldn't let it fuck with you at all. I would say this is reality. This is what happens. This happens to everybody who continues to move down the path. This is what I was talking about last Q&A about luck. A lot of people like to say, when they hear luck, they like to justify their lack of results by pointing at luck. Well, anybody who's going down the path is going to have breaks that other people are going to call luck. And it is happenstance. It is the circumstance. It could be called luck. But the reality is that anybody that has those things happen to them, they are moving forward in life. Lucky breaks, chance encounters, circumstances that favor you do not come to you when you're standing still. They only come to you when you're moving forward. So if you need to justify it in your mind, justify it like this. The reason this happened to me is because I've been moving forward. And as I move forward, there's going to be other things that happen that are going to not make logical sense, but are going to benefit me. And I am going to use those scenarios and use those situations to improve my situation faster. I'm not going to fight it. What are you going to do? Walk in the office and say, hey, boss, I'm not going to take this promotion because I didn't deserve it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what are you bitching about, bro? Like, fucking take it, make the most of it, and go make something great out of the situation that has happened.
Damn. Yeah, that's real. I mean, on this topic of luck, I was thinking about this. So, I mean, because I know we don't like you said, it's not something you like to address, and because, a lot of people will see, oh, that's what we're talking about. But with this concept of luck, do you believe in the flip side of that? Is there such a thing as just somebody being completely unlucky, or is that also a product of their actions?
It's almost always a product of their inactions. People say unlucky, But then you look at the actions they're taking, and they really can't say they're taking anything that moves them forward. You know, I don't, it's not fair. Okay, well, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. All right, cool. I'm unlucky. All right, well, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm going out partying 4 nights a week. I'm hanging out with a bunch of losers. I'm doing a bunch of drugs. I'm getting fucked up for 4 days. But, you know, nothing good is happening. Well, no shit, motherfucker. Nothing good is going to happen to you because you're not doing the things that create good things for you. Okay, so yeah, you're going to feel unlucky when you're exercising the behavior of a fucking loser. All right. And that's the reality, dude. Look at anybody who says they're unlucky. Look at anybody who says, I am perpetually a victim. I am the victim of life. I am a victim of circumstances. I am so unlucky. Blah, 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 blah. Stop listening to them and audit their actions. What are they doing? What are they eating? How are they moving? What are they putting in their brain? Who are they surrounding themselves with? What are they drinking? What kind of drugs are they using? Oh, and that list will tell you the reality of why they are unlucky. So I don't buy this shit from people. The reason I don't talk about luck as a real thing is because the minute you bring it up, those motherfuckers attach their identity to it. See, I'm unlucky. No, bro. You act like an asshole. You live like an asshole. And you have asshole results. You're not unlucky. You're just getting the fruits of the seeds that you're planting. And you're planting the wrong motherfucking seeds. So that's the reality of unlucky people. Are unlucky things going to happen to people? Are people going to get sick? Are there going to be accidents? Are there going to be things that happen that are unfavorable? Yeah. That's called fucking life.
Yeah.
That's what happens to everyone. Everyone has those things, not just you. All right? So cut it with the victim bullshit. Nobody buys it anymore. It was cool for 10 years when people actually didn't really understand how to operate on the internet. And they were like, oh my God, look at this person. They're so unlucky. They always have these hard things. Now you've worn that out so much that people are like, God, shut the fuck up. That's what everybody thinks, dude. Yeah. All you victim motherfuckers that write about your you'll never see me write about sad stories. You know how much shit I got going on in my life at this time, right now, that I don't even talk about? You motherfuckers are a bunch of pussies, bro. And you need to stop it. No one cares. And the more you bitch, the more you cry, the more you're going to find yourself alone. And by the way, you're creating this inescapable box of victimhood that creates your identity. Once you tell the sad story, and then you keep telling these other sad stories, and then you tell more sad stories, what's happening is you are creating an identity of that you are a victim. And when you believe that you are a victim, and you created the identity that you are a victim, how do you become someone who achieves anything? If you're the one sitting there saying, I can't achieve anything because all this unlucky shit happens to me. I'm the most unlucky. I'm always sick. I'm always this. I'm always that. People did this to me. Motherfucker, that's everybody. You know how many people feel like shit day in and day out? You know how many people have had people fuck them over day in and day out? You know how many people have had bad relationships? You know how many people have been treated poorly? Fucking everybody. So shut the fuck up. Do something about it. The nobility doesn't come from you saying, oh, I've got this sad story. It comes from you overcoming the sad story and then saying, hey, look what I went through. You can get through that shit too. That's where the fucking juice is. But we haven't figured that out as a whole in society. So keep shaming these perpetual victims. They deserve it.
I love it, man.
It's the truth.
I love it. Andy, you want one more?
Yeah, we'll do another one.
I got some extra sauce for you. Yeah.
I like extra sauce.
I know you like that extra sauce.
I do.
Yeah. Guys, Andy, question number 4. Andy, I came across this reel the other day, and it was talking about humility and how to, quote unquote, win the room. And the guy had said that you basically want to be the dumbest guy in the room. Now, with all the guru shit going on, I figured I'd start bringing them to you for verification. So is there any truth to this statement that you should want to be the dumbest guy in the room? Have you heard that? Do you know what they're talking about? Is there more context needed here?
What they're trying to say is put yourself in environments where you are around more successful and smarter people. And I think that's a very good policy. I think it's very smart for you to try and be around people who know more than you, have achieved more than you, have done more than you, who are more experienced than you, and then shut the fuck up and listen. So that's what that's saying. And I do agree with that. That's very, very important, no matter what level you're at. I still, to this day, and I am a very successful person. If I were to sell all my shit, retire today, there would be books written about what the fuck I've done in my life. Okay? And I'm 44. I'm not fucking 74. All right. I could cash it in today and everybody could say, this guy succeeded in life. He built 2 #1 podcasts. He built all these companies, built this mental transformation program, impacted millions of people. Most people don't do that in their whole life.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could stop that right now and that would be the story. All right. But I don't want that to be the end. So do you know what I do? I put myself in situations where I'm around motherfuckers who are older than me, who have done more than me, who are worth more than me, who are smarter than me, and I shut the fuck up and I listen to everything they say. Now, do I do everything they say? No, because there are things that have changed in society that are different than, let's say, someone who's 75 years old and a multi-billionaire. But the principles of what that person talks about, I do absorb and I do take very seriously. So how do we do that? Well, guess what? We have the internet. Who do you follow that's more successful than you? Who do you follow that knows more than you? And I'm not talking about these unverifiable dumbasses on the internet who, sell coaching programs and talk about how rich they are. These motherfuckers ain't built shit. They've built a business on promising people shit that they can't even really deliver, nor have they done, okay, especially when it comes to the entrepreneurship side. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about household name success stories. Learn their stories, learn their skills, pay attention to what they say. Try to be in proximity to them. And then when you are, be quiet and let them teach you. Don't try to assert how much you know, which we see this a lot. We see a lot of young people. We see a lot of people who want to be successful. They get around people who are more successful and they try to flex how they belong in the room by communicating how much they know. You don't even know how fucking stupid you are. That's what you don't understand. You don't know how stupid you sound when you're talking all this shit around motherfuckers like me who've been playing this game for 25 fucking years. Just like I don't know how stupid I sound when I'm around motherfuckers who've been playing it for 50. Okay, so when they say be humble and be the dumbest motherfucker in the room, there is a lot of truth to that. And if you can't be in the room, consume their shit, read their books, follow them on the internet, listen to what they say, and make sure that they've done what they say they've done. Learn from very, very, very real, verifiable success stories. There is so much fakeness and so much bullshit and so much flash in the pan lying that's going on the internet. It can be hard to tell who is telling the truth and who isn't, okay? If you want to know who's telling the truth, ask yourself some very simple questions. What have they actually built? Who are their customers? How many customers have they served? How many employees do they have? Who are their employees? What's their employees say about them? Where's their headquarters? Do they offer a real product? Can I order their product? Does the product come to me like they say it should? Do they service the customer like they say they do? Where can I find these products? Is this an imaginary company or is this a real company? Is this one of this guy's 18 companies he owns and he can't identify it and you never see it and you never see his employees? Or is the guy there every motherfucking day and you could very clearly see he is who the fuck he says he is? If you just vet them very simply like that, you will be able to easily identify who the fuck is who. Okay? So learn from people who have actually done it, not people who are pretending that they have done it. And you will understand what that means. Okay? So do I think that's good advice? I think it's excellent advice.
I love that. Is there something to be said too, like even when you are the smartest person in the room and you know it, to still be?
Yes, absolutely. It depends. Okay? There's sometimes when you need to assert yourself. You need to stand up, you say, hey, no, this is the way it fucking is. There's other times where there are people in the room who are not as smart as you that you can learn from, okay? And if nothing else, you might be able to learn what not to do, okay? So it's always a good idea to be humble in this regard when we're talking about learning, all right? Humble doesn't mean driving a shitty car and living in a small house and not thinking highly of yourself. Humble actually means going out, becoming successful, and then remembering that the reason that you are successful is not because you are great, it's because you took the actions that made yourself successful. And when you look at another human being, you understand that if that human being were to take the same actions as you, they would be successful as well. We are not attaching our success to us. We are attaching our success to the actions that we take. And so what that means when in terms of humility is not that I think less of myself, but I understand that I am a result of my actions and that person is a result of their actions. That's what humility is about. It's not about meekness. It's not about modesty. Like everybody likes to say, oh, I don't need that kind of life because I'm humble. No, you're not, because you got to be great at shit before you can be fucking humble about it. All right? You got to have skills before you can be humble about it. You got to have wealth before you can be humble about it. All right? Just because you say you're humble and you don't have any results to be humble about, no, bro, you're just a bitch.
You're broke.
Yeah, you're just a broke bitch using humility as an excuse. That's the truth. If you're not great at something, you can't even be humble about it. That's a fucking fact.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, guys, Andy, that was 4.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Am I supposed to say something? Hey, let's have a good week. Horse.